Conditionals help us run the flow of our code using conditional statements that resolve to true or false. We'll look at if, else, and pass statements. The example has an if true statement. True is a Boolean keyword. So, if true, we'll do whatever code is indented below the if statement. If it's not true, and in this case it's always true, so unless I write false, then we will do the else statement. So let's just quickly look at how this works out when I run it. So if true, it never gets past if true. It prints this if statement after if is true. And the statement after if is true. To get to the else statement, we would have to have whatever's here be not true. And so we can actually use these keywords not and true. And then we see that the else statement will print when something's not true. The more typical we think of not true is we think of it as false. And this is also the Boolean keyword, false. So as different statements evaluate to true or false, we can execute either the if statement or the else. A way to understand that is a little more easily is we can set right here a variable to true or false. And so I have someone I know is true, and if someone I know is true, then I'll say, how have you been? Else, if it's not true, I'll print nice to meet you. And so I say, how have you been? And then I could have something later where I determine that I don't know who that person is, and so is it someone I know? That is false. So I look here if someone I know, if it's true or false, and I should see that nice to meet you. And it says nice to meet you. Sometimes, though, when I run an if statement or an else statement, I really want only one of the conditions to execute. What that means is I would only want to print how have you been or nice to meet you. And so if I do not want to do anything, I can just write the word pass. And this is a keyword. It turns green. And so nothing happens in this case. And then if I write true, then it will run the how have you been pass. So if statements evaluate if they are true, and if not true, they will move to the else statement. Now, Boolean string methods such as is alpha or is num can be used to control our flow of code in an if statement. We can use any Boolean string method in an if statement because they all resolve to either true or false. In our example, we get input from the title of a book and save that in a favorite book. Then we use the isTitle method to see if it's a little case where every word is capitalized. If that result is true, then we'll print nice capitalization. If not true, we'll go to the else statement and we'll give them a tip to capitalize each word. We run the code and I'll put in a title. It says nice capitalization because I put in each word capitalized. If I'll just put in something without capitalization, it gives me the tip. So this resolve do not true. In this next example, we want to enter a positive integer and then we run the check, is it a digit? This is a good check because if we are looking for a number input, then if someone puts in something that's not a number or the positive digit we want, then we see that a text string is not an integer. We can also run more than one if statement at a time. After this first if statement runs, I can run a second one to check if it's an alphabetical character. And if it is, we can tell people that that's a word and that we are looking for a number input. So I can try again and that it says number.